Hey guys, Slysssa here, and today I'm going to go over the big patch notes that were released yesterday, October 13th, and these patch notes are going to go live tomorrow, October 15th. I thought what better game to put these patch notes over than a Ragnaros game, because we all know Ragnaros is getting nerfed. So let's get into the patch notes. First up, let's talk about Battleground hero updates. This hero right here, Ragnaros, was the first one nerfed. His old hero power was that after you get killed 20 minions, you get Sulfurous, and now you have to kill 25, meaning that his hero power will not go online for at least one more turn. The thing about this is I've actually seen a lot of 8th place Ragnaroses recently because they just don't get their hero power on time. So you do have to play a lot more careful with Ragnaros. I do think that this will be a sufficient nerf because I have seen those 8th place Ragnaroses recently, and so now you'll see more. And it's kind of like the cat, Mr. Bigglesworth. You either get first or last. Cat has even a bigger buff if he lasts later in the game than Ragnaros does, in my opinion. So Ragnaros is kind of like the cat hero, but not as powerful in late game and has a better mid game. Now, Sulfurous' hero power is changing. It used to give +4 and +4 to left and rightmost minion. Now it's only giving +3/+3, so a slight nerf to the buff of Sulfurous, and I think that's fair. The next hero that had a nerf is Maev's Shadow Song. Maev was that when you imprison a minion for 1 gold, you buff them by +1/+1 and they remain dormant for 2 turns. Now it's only +1 attack, not +1 health. I don't think this is a very big nerf to Maev because currently Maev's huge. The reason why Maev's so strong is because she's able to spend her economy leveling as opposed to spending her economy purchasing minions, because it only costs her 1 gold to purchase certain minions. And if you focus those properly, you focus them on pairs and triples, and then you're using your economy to level and get into the higher tier stuff. So the buff on the minion isn't that important to me. So I think that this is not a sufficient nerf to Maev, and Maev will still be super duper strong. Shenval is the next hero that got a buff. Shenval's buff is that after you play 3 elementals, reduce the cost of upgrading Pob's Tavern by 3. It used to only be 2. So Shenval will be able to level more efficiently. Again, I'm not sure if this is enough of a buff because you have to buy elementals, and elementals are really rough in the early game. But I'd like to try this out. It's really hard to tell when it's something that is dependent on a certain minion type. So I'm not sure about Shenval. I'd like Shenval to be good though. I like the flavor of the text. The next hero to get a buff is Patchwork. Instead of starting with 50 health, you're going to start with 55 health. So if you guys remember, Patchwork actually used to start with 60 health. They nerfed him to 50 health when Demon meta was so popular, and now he's up to 55 health. The problem with Patchwork is that he's boring. He's just so boring because he doesn't do anything. A lot of passive heroes are, in fact, boring. So is it a buff? Yeah, obviously. But is it enough of a buff? I don't know. I might not pick him still because he's just boring, but I think he'll be fine. Another buff to a hero is Sindragosa. Stay Frosty. When you freeze minions on Bob's Tavern, they get +1/+1, but now they'll get +2/+1. I don't know. Like, this is okay for certain minions, especially on the tier 3 minions that have Divine Shield and have Rat Packs and stuff like that. So maybe it's okay, but I'm curious if it's strong enough, because Sindragosa is technically an early game hero because you can freeze tier 1 and tier 2 minions. Or sorry, tier 1 minions on turns 1 and 2. But maybe it will become more of a mid-game hero because of that additional attack boost, and that would help the 3-drop minions. So maybe Sindragosa will be a more middle-of-the-road pick now. The last buff to a hero is King Mukla, Banana Rama. Now when you hero power and you get 2 bananas, you have a chance of getting a big banana, which gives +2/+2. So I'm kind of curious if that will make King Mukla any good. I don't think it will. I think he'll still be trash, but I want to see some big bananas because, you know, size matters. And last but not least, Dendrotron has been removed from the Battlegrounds hero pool. They've decided that Omu and Shenval have taken over, and there is no point in even having Dendrotron at this point. Next, let's talk about minion buffs and nerfs and minion removal. I think that's the biggest thing this meta is they are removing 2 minions from the pool. The biggest one is Pogo Hopper. Pogo Hopper is being removed from Battlegrounds, which, you know, is sad because Pogo was never good until Jandice came around. So Pogo died for Jandice's sins. And so I'm very sad about Pogo Hopper leaving us. Whirlwind Tempest is also leaving us. So what does this mean? Whirlwind Tempest is okay, but if you got to attack first, it had a huge advantage if you had the whirl or some Wind Fury stuff in the front. Also, it does reduce the amount of elementals in the pool, meaning that you have less targets for Lil Rag and Nomi. So this should basically nerf elementals as a whole. Selfless hero has moved from tier 1 to tier 2. So what does this mean? Well, it means that in the turn 1, when you're picking a minion, you remember you're always trying to pick a token. If you whiff on a token, you're trying to pick a 2-3 or a 2-4 or something. And so moving Selfless Hero out will just make turn 1 more fair because you won't have to pick Selfless Hero if you get offered trash. And also it just means there's less in the pool because there's less 2-drops than 1-drops in the pool. So less likelihood of finding triple Selfless Hero. So it does reduce those odds of everyone having these Divine Shield comps going on. Deadly Spore has now moved from tier 4 to tier 5. What does that mean? Well, it means that tier 5 is worse. Right now, tier 5 is super strong because there's so many great targets on 5 that people are just trying to triple to 5. And this is a kind of a poor triple into tier 5, but a good late game tech pickup. So I kind of like this nerf. It will make tier 5 less strong. Some pirate buffs that we see is Salty Looter is going from a 3-3 to a 4-4. So basically you can kind of pick this up as a tempo play now, just like you could pick up Crowd Favorite as a tempo play. A 4-4 is way better stats when you're leveling to 3. So I do like this buff. Is it enough for pirates? I don't think so. Also, Bloodsail Cannoneer is going from a 4-2 to a 4-3. So again, a better tempo play. So it does make pirates better in the mid game. What I'd like to see for pirates is Captain Hogger move to tier 4. I think that would help out pirates immensely, and maybe pirates could have a place in Battlegrounds. But until that happens, I don't know. I still think pirates are super weak in comparison to elementals. Unless this elemental change coming up that I'm about to show you soon has a bigger effect. There has been a buff to some early game elementals, that being Party Elemental. It is going from a 2-2 to a 3-2. This will help making it a tempo play in the early game when you're picking up your tempo cards. Like right now, I have never suggested going elementals early until you find your 5-drop. So this will help balance the early game for elementals. Same with Arcane Assistant. It is the 3-drop that buffs +1/+1. It's going from a 3-2 to a 3-3. It's a little bit more stats to help him out. Next, Major Domu oh god, I can't say this name. Whatever, Major Domu. So this one I've seen a lot of questions on because people do not understand the buff or nerf to this card. They thought it was just like a change in the text. And so let me explain it this way. Major Domo, he used to give +1/+1 for every elemental that you played this turn. Now he gives +1/+1 to the leftmost minion. And then additionally, we'll give +1/+1 per elemental played this turn. So let's say you don't play any elementals in a turn, you'll still get +1/+1 because it's on the board. So far left minion +1/+1 plus +1/+1 per additional elemental you played that turn. So it is a slight buff to Major Domu. I still think he's Major Saksu, but you know, at least he got a little buff. I don't know. I still think he's trash. A big change happening to elementals though is the switch of a tier 5 and a tier 6 minion. That is Lil Rag and Gentle Genie. Lil Rag is going from tier 5 to tier 6, and Gentle Genie going from 6 to 5. Now that means that they've changed the size of the minions. Lil Rag will be a 6/6 now that it's on tier 6, and Gentle Genie will be a 4/5 now that's moving down to tier 5. I think this is a really fair switch because first of all, I think it was unfair that both Nomi and Lil Rag were on tier 5. They're two insane elemental cards. So there was just like too many opportunities on tier 5. Now they moved the tempo card of Gentle Genie down to 5 and the value card of Lil Rag up to 6. So now on tier 5, you might hit a value card, which is Chef Nomi. And if you don't hit it, then you could hit the tempo card of Gentle Genie. And then if you level to tier 6, you could hit the value card of Lil Rag, or you could hit the kind of the tempo card of Gar. Gar works best with Nomi, and Lil Rag works best with Genie. So I like that they kept them on separate tavern tiers and they made this switch. Otherwise, they would have to switch Nomi and Gar around, and that doesn't make any sense. So I really like this switch. I think it's going to make the meta way more stable. There's not going to be as much power spiking on the tier 5, which is why people are just taking so much early damage. What's happening is that since you only have to get to a tier 5 to get really strong, people power spike super duper fast and just kill you early. So this will prolong it. Things that I do not think were fixed were Maiev. Maiev is one of those heroes that power spikes super early and just can whack 30 damage to you. I still think she can do that. Just because she lost 1 health to a minion doesn't change her flavor of that. She can level quickly, get to high tier things early. So I do think Maiev is still an issue. But other than that, I'm really looking forward to this patch. And let me know what you guys like about it, what you dislike about it. Are you going to miss bunnies? Or are you going to miss Bardendron? Let me know and have a great day. And don't forget, if you are not subscribed and you're enjoying this content, make sure you subscribe. We are like 600 subscribers from 20,000. Super exciting. So hit that sub button. Very much appreciated. And have a good day.
That's what I would have picked. I didn't like that one either. Here's a gold for the trouble. I have witnessed the truth.
Wait, I just sold that. You dummy? I don't want those, you dummy.
My shield for Argus.
I'm feeling punchy. APM lol shots. Lol her. She can't
You got
APM.
this. You're way ahead.
Happy cow.
That was such a mean happy cow.
Do.
You're good at this. This last act of sacrifice is mine. Hey, a triple. Here's your reward. I didn't like that one either. Here's a gold for the trouble. That'll do some damage. Guide me.
I think I'm pretty strong.
Everyone's gunning for you. Watch out.
But according to Bob, Bob's usually correct. Everyone's gunning for me, so I have to watch out. That was very rude, man. Oh. I think the win was like I had to attack that first. And oh my god, I'm getting scammed. If I get 8.2% lethal, I'm gonna cry. Actual tears out my face. Ah! Die! No crying. No crying.
The battle is really
good.
raging out there.
All's good here, chat. We're getting rid of this?
Go big or go home, I always say.
This is better than this.
I'll make sure these ones stick around for next time.
Can I go first this time? I kind of deserve going first. Hold on. Let me go first. Let me go first. Let me go first. Come on. No! Again? Stop scamming me! It's okay, Jeff.
What does that mean?
Size matters, so people can check out what size they are by typing the command size. See if they're chonkers or dinkers or average or growers or showers.